I'm Shayna. I love dogs, I trip a lot, and I happen to have a knack for making pretty sweet videos for businesses. But the more videos we made, the more questions I got about how video and other content can be leveraged to make a bigger impact in their marketing. I mean, 44% of marketers say that producing content is their biggest challenge, yet content marketing is 62% less expensive than outbound and produces 3 times more leads. Now, I know a lot, but I certainly don't know it all, so I made it my mission to talk with content kings, queens, and bosses to learn as much as I could about crushing content marketing, and I'm taking you along with me. Welcome to the Content Coalition. Hello, Content Coalition family. Shayna here with Repurpose House. I have a super awesome guest today. We've got John Parks. He is the VP of Web Traffic at ClickFunnels. Say hey, John.
How are you? This is so fun.
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm so happy to be here. I'm doing great.
Super cool. Awesome. Well, just a little quick background on John. I'm going to let him kind of dive into that too. But he is a master at driving traffic. He is the brains behind all of ClickFunnels paid ads. He's spent millions. He's brought in tens of millions. He's a speaker, a coach. He teaches people how to be more awesome in their Facebook ads game. He has done all things ads that are pretty incredible. And I'm super jacked to talk to him right now. I was just telling him that we are in the middle of launching our ad strategy to push to a webinar. And so I'm going to take this time and be selfish and ask all the questions that I have. And hopefully they will be relevant to the stuff that you guys want to hear. So John, again, thank you for being here. Just little backstory. How did you get into ads? How'd you land at ClickFunnels? Let's hear that.
Yeah, it's a pretty funny story. So, okay, so there I was going to college, right? Like a good boy. Always been entrepreneurial. My brothers and I, while we were going to college, we were flipping real estate and stuff like that. Always had something going, right? But then the big old market crashed and, you know, the houses went kaput in 2007, 2008. And there I was like days away from graduating college. And now I'm like all backed up, you know, in arrears and in real estate headaches and foreclosures and a mess, right?
Oh, right.
I know. So at that same time, my wife's like, hey, let's just get away from it all. Let's just go. You know, we've been married for about a year. We just got married in college. And she's like, let's just get away from it all and go to a family reunion and up at the lake. So I go to a family reunion up at the lake. And she's like, you know, I've got a cousin. He's entrepreneurial. Name's Russell Brunson. You know, you should go just like chat with him. I'm like, okay, sounds fun. Someone we can talk shop with, right? So we're on a boat and we're just talking and having a good time. And he to this day still swears that I was pitching him on an MLM, but I have another story. But either way, we got along. And he's like, you're super cool. Come and work with me. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So I finished up college and, you know, last few weeks I had or whatever, and moved up here to Boise, Idaho, where I've been for the last 11, 12 years with Russell. So it's been a blast.
Holy cow. That sounds, what was the MLM he thought you were pitching on? Let's hear that.
Well, I was just talking about it. I wasn't trying to get him into it, right? You know?
Right. Just
so,
soft sell.
I don't think it's around anymore. It was about how to accelerate pay off your mortgage. What was it even called? I don't even remember what it was called, to tell you the truth.
Irrelevant now, but still a fun story.
You go through all kinds of MLMs. This is part of the game.
Well, right, because you can sell anything as an entrepreneur, right?
No, so then I started with him, and I was you know, managing this project and that project, and it was doing really well. You know, everything I was managing was doing well, and then one day, it was so funny. He did this. He stood up from his desk because he had these monitors that were blocking his view, and he looked over the desk, and it was just Brent and me in the same room as him. At the same time, he's just like, you know what we don't do? We don't run ads. And I was like, you're right, we don't. We only did JV stuff, affiliate stuff. Like, we weren't running advertising. Oh. He's like, who wants to learn it? And I'm like, I'll learn it. And so just like on the fly, like 6 years ago or something, I just picked up the baton and started running ads. It was one of my many things I was doing. But I fell in love with it, and I dove all in, you know, head first, and I just got really, really good at it and started spending thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in advertising, you know, and seeing every little intricate pattern and what it means and how to interpret it. And, you know, what if we tweak this, and what if we change the copy over here, and what if we change the campaign structure? So I just became the traffic guy, and that's how it was, you know. I mean, everyone's like, well, what was your formal schooling? I'm like, landscaping.
Well, and what's so crazy is that like now you're a resource for people to go to for educating themselves on how to do it. What were your resources that you were looking at then?
There was I'll give him a shout out. I don't think he's even in the traffic world anymore. His name was Don Wilson. He was the first course I went through.
Oh, so you took a course and you're like,
yeah, just a course. I just bought a course online, and I know since then he's gotten in trouble with Facebook. I don't even know where he is anymore. I haven't seen him in like 8 years. But some guy who was putting out a resource, and I consumed it, and I was like, okay, I get it. And then I started running some ads. Then I learned from another guy, started running some ads, learned from someone else, started, did their thing and did this thing and saw what worked. And I really enjoy like the experimentation of it. And so a lot of it is just the learn on the job kind of thing, as well as the supplemental podcasts. I mean, I love listening to podcasts. I love going through courses, seeing because even now I feel like I'm at the top of my game in the traffic world, but I still am interested in what you're doing to run ads because you might have thought through it differently,
Totally. Absolutely. Right on. Well, speaking of ads, let's just dive right on in. So I know that, one thing that a lot of people are investing is retargeting, but there's just so many ways, there's so many platforms, so many different ways to go about it, all types of content that you can utilize. What are some strategies? You've probably been through them all. You like to test everything. So what are you seeing that's working really well right now? And obviously every industry is different. Every audience is different, but is there anything that you can kind of give across the board that's been working really well for you guys?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think there's a standard formula that works for almost everyone. Okay. If you don't mind, I'll kind of just build out that.
Yes, let's hear it.
Okay, cool. So the first part of it is to split in your mind, because people get overwhelmed when it comes to advertising. There's, they'll run this ad and it gets burned out and then they've got to replace it and then they don't know, and all these metrics and da da da. I think it becomes really simple if you can break it out in your mind that there's only two kinds of ad campaigns you could be running. There's only prospecting or retargeting. That's it. That's the only two kinds of ads you can run. So prospecting is when you're out there just trying to pull people in from cold audiences, interests, people who are searching for, for you or on any kind of topic that would be relevant. You're interrupting, whether they're looking for you or you're interrupting them, either way, but you're out there just like fishing. You're just out there throwing every hook you can in the water and seeing what comes, right? Some of them will work. A lot of them won't work. And you just keep what works and throw what doesn't and keep trying to fish. That's prospecting. There's a lot of churn and burn happens there. Retargeting, the whole other half of your advertising, you can actually get to a point using this formula where you set it up once and you never touch it again. I mean, theoretically never touch it again. It's set it and forget it. You set it up and it just works, okay? Things don't burn out. You don't have to cycle anything. It just goes. And it's just this magic formula that sits on the back of your prospecting and just milks out more sales. So, you curious about how to do that?
Oh, you're selling it. Let's hear it.
Okay. All right, cool.
And this is how you do it. You keep them on their toes and wanting more.
On the next episode, no, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So prospecting, that's just that, right? So let's talk about retargeting. Retargeting, so almost every ad platform, and the two big ones right now, as I'm sure everyone's aware, is the Google Ads platform and the Facebook Ads platform, and each one has lots of different pieces. Google, you can do display, and you can do YouTube, and you can do search. In Facebook, you can do Instagram, audience network, things like that. So in these two platforms, which control the bulk of all of our ad spend, and we're about 60-40, favoring Facebook a little bit more, but we're a lot into Google too. You can build audiences in both of these platforms, okay? And that's what retargeting is all about. Finding people who are doing something and then saying, okay, they did something, so I'm going to put them in this audience, and now I'm going to send a specific message to those people, right? So I'll give you a scenario so you can build out this formula in your head. So there's the people who, think of it like a continuum. There's people who engage with your stuff. So they watched a video on Facebook, at least they watched a minute of it. Sure, it's a 5-minute long video, but they watched some of it. They didn't just scroll past or click away. So they engaged with your video, or they shared it, or they commented on it, or something like that. There's those people. And then there's people who actually clicked through and got to your page, your post, your sales funnel, whatever you were sending them to. So there's the click-through people. Then there's the people who take some action on that page, so they opted in. And then there's the people who actually got all the way to the sale, right?
Right.
So that's the continuum of where people can be. So what you want to do is you want to set up a retargeting sequence that talks to each one of those people, okay? So I have an ad out there that's selling, you know, the Expert Secrets book, right? And there's a post of Russell, you know, in a video, and he's talking about how great the book is and why you should get it. So if you watch some of that video, then you're now in an audience. I now told Facebook, okay, put that person in an audience, and run this specific ad to them for 3 to 5 days. You know, let's say 5 days. I'll run it for 5 days. After which, if they actually haven't taken the next step, if they haven't clicked through, forget about it. They're out. They're off the list. Okay.
Right.
So if they're engaging, if they're interested enough to see you a little bit, then step in front of them for 5 days. After which you're like, no, okay, you weren't interested enough. You're gone. I'm not going to spend my ad money. Yeah.
So the ad that you're retargeting them with on the length of view, is it the same thing, or are you pushing them a different piece of content?
You know, we'll do both.
Okay.
And they both seem to perform about the same. It's like,
okay.
I remember this video. I'm going to finish it this time. Or I remember this guy, a new message. Yeah. Either way. So
cool.
yeah.
Right on. Okay. Just wanted to get some clarity.
No, great question. And once you get one that works, you get to set it and forget it because there's this problem of ad burnout, but this one never burns out because if somebody gets on that list, they're only on that list for up to 5 days and then they're off that list. So the max they'll ever see it is for 5 days.
Awesome.
And so it'll never burn out. On other kinds of ads, yeah, they'll be seeing it for a month and then they'll never click and blah, 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 right?
Right.
So that limited window on the retargeting that makes this all work. Okay, so let's say that they don't click, they're out, they're back in the great ocean over here, and you'll prospect them again next month, whatever, right? But they did move on, they clicked through, but maybe they didn't do anything else, they clicked through. So now you have it's a better audience, people who clicked through. Now this audience, you let it last for a little bit longer, maybe 5 to 7 days. We'll go with the 7 mark. So if they did hit your page, they clicked through, but they just didn't quite opt in yet, they got distracted, they weren't quite sure they liked it, they needed a little bit more information, whatever it is. You run that for 7 days, and they're on that list. But afterwards, they fall off. So the most they'll ever see it is 7 days. So you can put that ad up and test a couple of them and get one that you really like, and then leave it there for, in essence, indefinitely because it's not going to burn out.
So with the content for that, because I'm a content freak, obviously. Totally. So like for the content for that, like they've hit the landing page, you know, they've been targeted for this specific ad, and you're going to run 3 of them maybe and test them. What is the message that you guys will put out in that ad?
Totally. The message that I love is, so we usually lead with emotion. If emotion didn't work, then we'll hit them with logic. And if logic doesn't work, then we hit them with just social proof. Okay. Like everyone else is doing it. Come on. You know what I mean? Yeah,
for sure. Cool.
Awesome. So usually we'll hit it with emotion, and so depending on what it is, maybe it's the Expert Secrets book. And so it's just like, gosh, if you ever felt like you've got this message, but you just don't know how to get it out, you've got this amazing thing built up and, you know, pent up inside, and you're just dying to share it, but you don't know how to phrase it right, how to build that message properly. Expert Secrets. I'll give you the book for free. Just cover shipping. Come on over here, right? So that kind of a message, and just get them back to that page. Because again, you're showing this ad on Facebook, let's say, and you've got to get them to click through and go engage. Or if it's a free download, talk about the emotion, the benefits behind why they want that free download, and help them realize it's free. Like, call them out on it. Like, we're kind of blunt about it. We're like, guys, it's like free, so like just get it.
Right.
or there's a great retargeting ad on the next phase, which is when they opt in but didn't quite buy, and you can run that one. So like every step that they go through here, they're that much more committed to you. They've taken that much deeper step with you, and so you can kind of be more real with them, more blunt with them, and you can hang out with them longer. Yeah. I mean, if they've clicked through and opted in but didn't quite buy, you'll want to retarget them for at least 10 days.
Yeah.
Right. And the message that's working awesome for us right now on this free plus shipping book offer is it's Russell with the book, and he's just hanging out with the book, right? And he's just like, this is my book, and he's like, guess what, guys? I'm giving to you for free. Just cover the shipping. What's the shipping? Like $7. What else can you do with $7? And he goes on for 3 minutes talking about what $7 can buy. It could buy you like a Slurpee, or it could change your life. It could buy you like a new like leash for your dog, or it could change your life. You know what I mean? It's just like the contrast is so ridiculous. You have to buy the book.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And it's fun. It's playful. You want to hear what he's going to say next, because it's just funny things that he's saying. You know, what else you buy a Big Mac? I don't recommend it. Your heart will stop, but you know what I mean? Just like funny stuff like that. So, so that's a fun one there. Just to kind of like, they're that deep in, they haven't bought it yet. So just logically be like, compare and contrast. Like, why won't you do it? Right.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And
yeah.
go ahead.
Oh yeah. So then another one that works really well content wise on retargeting is to actually and this was extremely simple. It just blew my mind that it was effective, right? So instead of just like buy my book because it's good, which is what we usually say, it was Russell and he went like this, kind of like just let's hang out, right? This is my book. This is what's in my book. And he just explains one of the drawings or something. And he's just like, look, I'm going to teach you this and this and this. Oh, and over here, I'm going to teach you this and this and this. And all of a sudden it becomes a real book and it becomes real content. Because think about it, when you go on, I just listened to a podcast and I have to message the dude because he slurred the name of the book and I can't find it. But luckily I know him, so I'm going to send him a message and be like, I want that book. Yeah. All he did was share one concept in the book. So all of a sudden I'm salivating, right? So that's the whole concept with this. It's like, hey, here's a cool thing I talk about in my book. It's called The Attractive Character. I mean, check this out. Did you know this, this, and this, and this, this, and this? I talk about it for a whole 3 chapters. And all of a sudden they're like, ooh, I want to know.
Yeah. So, and that can translate really into anything that you're trying to get people to buy into. Like for us, it'll be a webinar. Like here's some of the stuff we're going to talk about. And then for like product services, you can do that with anything that at least throws some kind of education out there. Am I wrong?
Absolutely. Totally. Yeah. And it's and this was a mistake we did make. It's less about educating them and it's more about showing them the possibilities. Yeah. And the curiosity. If what you do is you just teach them something, it'll be effective, but it won't be as effective as if you talk about the possibilities of it, and then they're just so curious, right?
Yeah, it's not giving it, and that's funny because that's what I'm reading in Expert Secrets. It's like,
yeah,
tell them what the secret is, or tell them that this is the secret, but not how that secret plays out quite yet.
Yeah, it's interesting, and we made so I'm trying to phrase this right. It's less about withholding the information because you don't want to do that, but it's just the fact that if all you do is teach, then it doesn't give them the sense of like the barbecue sizzle, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh my heavens, what the heck is my neighbor cooking? I really want some, but I can't have it, right? Because you can just smell it over the fence. You don't get as much of that. And you just get like, that was a cool seminar, thanks, and you walk away, right?
Right, yeah. For sure. Awesome. Right on. Well, so let's talk about then once you get them into a place like sales funnels, for instance. I know that you guys are leaning way more towards sales funnels than traditional content marketing. So let's talk a little bit about that because I have been sucked into your guys' funnels multiple times. So clearly it's working for people like me, but how did that shift happen? Like where did that come from?
That is a fantastic question. I'm glad you asked it. I think there's a little bit of misconception actually as to so like maybe a misunderstanding of thinking that we don't lead with content, right? We do, we just don't do it the way you think we're doing it, which is what it's interesting. So where's our content? If we're not driving to a blog post, where's our content? Which we do actually, we do drive some to blog posts, but we often drive straight to a sales funnel. Well, the content is baked into the ad or it's baked into the sales page. So you'll notice if you visit some of our sales pages, it's actually really interesting read and educational and full of goodness. It's not just like a pitch fest, right?
Right.
Same with the ads. Like you could watch a Russell Brunson ad and walk away like having been enriched from it. So it's putting the content. What do we call it? We call it shortening the sales journey and putting the content farther forward.
Right. Well, because what's interesting is when you land on any of these pages, you're scrolling for a while. Like, It's not like it's just a really quick landing page with 3 blocks and that's it. I mean, I've gotten sucked in halfway through in my, the little bar on the right side is itty bitty because it's a very, very long landing page. And it's like, it's full of content that is relevant that I don't feel like I'm being pitched because I'm halfway down the page at that point and I haven't even realized it, So I think there's an art to that for sure.
There is. And so like, if you think about the difference, I'll just like do a compare and contrasting. So if there's an ad that says, hey, you should come consume my content, and then so you click through and then you go to the content and you're reading the post or whatever the content is, and you're reading that blog post, then you have to either manually take another step in to get to a sales page, or you have to get retargeted, and brought to the sales page eventually. So you're getting a fraction of the people that'll click on the ad, a fraction of those people consuming that content and getting to the sales funnel that you finally want them in, and a fraction of those people actually buying. So you're cutting every time. So if you can shorten that journey, you get to keep more, right?
Yeah. That makes it so funny because another guest a while back was like, it's the most obvious things that are like the most incredible tips that you wouldn't like. How did I not think of that? Like that makes perfect sense. You don't want it to ask them to take action 3 times, you know?
Yeah.
They should already be there. That's genius. I love it.
Yeah. So a tip for the listeners or the watchers, if you don't know what the heck to say in an ad, but you know how to write blog posts, what if you just read your blog post in a less mechanical way, but like just re-deliver the same content in a video ad, and then all of a sudden your ad, the point of ad contact and the point of content consumption are smushed together, and it's now the same thing. It's both an ad and content at the same time, and then you shorten their journey.
That's awesome. I love that. So what is your strategy for marketing across like multiple ad platforms?
Yeah. So the big thing is making sure that you've got your tracking pixels for every platform, put where you want them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for example, if you go and you visit expertsecrets.com and you land there, you're both, Google's recognizing you and Facebook's recognizing you because we have both of those pixels on there as well as some smaller platforms on there. And so you're being pixeled in both places. So whether you go to YouTube in the next 5 days or whether you go to Facebook in the next 5 days, we're going to pop up and say, hey, remember how you came to our site? Why didn't you get the book? You know, here's how else you could spend $7.
Right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. How would you say your engagement on like YouTube pre-roll ads has been going? For me, I feel like it's mostly brand awareness, or at least it was in the past. I haven't been diving into it as heavily lately, but have you seen changes in that platform for engagement?
Totally. Yeah. In fact, we're directly tracking revenue from it. And we have a very strict policy with our YouTube advertisers that they have to have a certain positive return on ad spend to even continue the campaign. So we're definitely not just doing brand. We're getting direct sales off of the YouTube ads and we're enjoying it.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, because that was not the case for, many people were like, oh, it's just brand awareness. I'm like, well, why? Okay. I mean, why spend money at that point? So that's great to hear that you guys are actually generating revenue on that. That's great.
Yeah. Here's a fun little tool if you want for your people. A really easy way. Easy once it's set up. It's a little bit of a setup, but once it's there, the best way that I found to track revenue directly, because like return on ad spend is a huge metric for us in the advertising world, right? We really want to know I've spent $100 and I earned 175 and I'm okay with that, or I'm not, it's too small or whatever, right? Wicked Reports is a tool. You may have heard of it, may have not. I don't even remember the cost of it, but at this point we can't live without it because we don't know of another tool that actually ties into our bank accounts. It ties into Stripe, which is what we use, and into our sales funnels with webhooks and into our ad platforms. And so it is so thorough and so accurate in tracking revenue attribution back to the ad point.
Wow.
We can say this ad generated this much revenue directly attributed. So that is super helpful in making sure that your YouTube ads are profitable.
We're going to go ahead and put that link in the show notes here too, because I'm excited to check into that for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, to be able to track from like absolute point A to money in the bank. Huge.
Yeah, it's cool. Because sometimes, I mean, you'll on these ad platforms, you can track conversions, right? You can say, well, it made some sales, but you don't know if it made just the $7 sale. Did they take the bump? Did they take the other bump?
Right.
Did they follow me on my email for a few days and also buy the big thing, right?
Yeah.
Tracks all of that and attributes it back to the ad.
Wow. It takes all the guesswork out of like just how effective is the ad overall.
And I'll give you a number. Our magic number is 14 days. So we look at revenue attribution over a 14-day window and attribute it back to the ad and say, okay, so the ad drove this person into our sales funnel to some degree. How much revenue over 14 days did they generate? And we'll give the ad credit for that.
Wow. That's amazing. Very cool. I love that. That's a great tip to track everything. Right on. So is there anything that we haven't touched on, ad PPC, anything you wanted to talk about that we haven't gotten a chance to chat on yet?
So depending on how deep your people are into advertising, if you're just getting started in Facebook advertising, or even you've been doing it for a little bit, the magic tab that I don't think is used enough when it comes to your metrics, if you're looking at your all the numbers they give you and you're kind of confused or whatever, the one you want to click on the top right is called breakdown. Click on a little thing called breakdown and it lets you separate out and filter your results based on a bunch of criteria. And what you'll find there is phenomenal. Like you're running these ads and you never would have thought, for example, I was running ads for roseclubformen.com. Okay. And it's a fantastic product and a fun company to run ads for. But there was this point where we just couldn't find the profit. We were just right below the profit mark and we just needed something just to squeeze an extra 20% out. Right. And it was driving me crazy. I was trying all these different ads and all these different audiences and couldn't figure it out. And so I was just fiddling around and I finally was like, oh, let's go check the breakdown tab. And it broke it down and I looked at gender, male, female. No, that wasn't it. There wasn't a big split there. Age, no, that wasn't it. And I just like, I'll just check region. We only, Rose Club for Men only sells in the United States, but I clicked on region. So it broke it down by state.
Right.
And lo and behold, there's only 10 states out there that buy roses. So I could ditch the other 40, run with the 10, and I found my profit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been through that tab. There's so many different metrics you can look at. It's incredible. But
and it's simple. You just click on it. You just like gender, male, female, nothing there. Age. Oh, look at that. I shouldn't sell to people over 45,
Yeah. Right. Awesome.
Really cool.
Right on. Well, thank you for that tip. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one thing that we ask everybody at the end of every episode is, what is one thing that anybody who's listening or watching can implement in the next 48 hours that doesn't require a team or a massive budget?
Okay. Fantastic question. I think the biggest thing that most people are missing on or that too many people are missing out on is building those audience that I talked about on the retargeting. And it's simple. It's not scary. It's not hard. You just need to go to a tab inside of Facebook or Google that says audiences. And then it gives you these options on what audience do you want us to start building. And even if you're not planning on building, sorry about that. Even if you're not planning on building, like running ads yet at all, you could build your audiences starting today with $0, and they can just be sitting there and building, and Facebook can be learning and Google can be learning what your ideal customers look like and what they feel like and who's coming and who's not. And maybe you want to run ads 6 months from now. Put the dang pixel on your page today. Let those audiences start building. Let it start learning, and your results will just be phenomenal.
Amazing. And that's a hugely beneficial thing you can literally do in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, totally. And it's like, I say pixel and you might be like, what's a pixel? I don't know. Is that the little dot on my screen? Don't even worry about what it is. It's just this block of code. You just click copy and then you go over to your sales funnel, and in the place where you can drop code, push paste, and you're done.
Awesome. Right on. Great tip. Thank you for that. So if people want to learn more about you, about ClickFunnels, about the books, where can we send everybody who wants more?
That is fantastic. So I would say follow us on Instagram. We're big over there. At Russell Brunson is where most of our activity is. You're going to see all of the things we're up to, all of our promotions and stuff like that. And then make sure you just go to clickfunnels.com. We've got everything listed there. It's a fantastic place to go.
Awesome. Right on. Well, thank you so much, John. This has been amazing. I'm super excited to implement some of this stuff, and it's been awesome to have you on the show.
Oh, it's been fun. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. All right, Content Coalition, thanks for sticking around, and we will talk to you next week. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of the Content Coalition. Now, whether you're listening or watching, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel and to whatever platform you're listening to it on, because you're not going to want to miss out on the incredible things that I'm learning with these amazing content marketing pros. So make sure you subscribe, and we will talk to you next week.